So you want a home security system, but you don't want to deal with monthly fees or subscriptions. We're going to show you a system under $200 that you can live monitor from your phone at any time. I'm Robert with Acme Locksmith, and you're watching Locksmith Recommended. A couple weeks back, we reviewed 5 home security products that allowed you to have remote monitoring from your phone, live video display, and alerts and alarms sent directly to your phone. Our favorite product was one by KERUI, and that's the product we're going to talk today about. We're going to show you how to set it up, what it is, and what it looks like. If you want a link to that article where we talk about all 5 products, I'll put a link to that below. Now, the first thing you want to notice about this product is the packaging. This comes from overseas. I ordered this on a website called Alibaba. Alibaba is essentially Asia's Amazon. It gets you access to very affordable products. The only downside is they do ship from overseas, and it does take 2 to 3 weeks to get them. But if you're looking for a value, this is one of the best ways to go. This is the packaging. Let's unwrap it. Now, this is the main control panel for the product. It is a very sleek and beautiful design. This is what you mount on the wall so that you can arm and disarm it if you choose to do that from the actual control unit itself. The unit also comes with fobs if you don't want to have to go through the trouble of doing pin code. Arm and disarm the unit. Some cables, of course. Mounting hardware. Here are your magnetic sensors for doors or windows. One of the great things about this unit that I found is you can order it in a number of configurations. So you can get it to support a couple of doors to supporting 15, 20 doors. Motion sensor. I ordered 2 of them. This is the other part of the magnetic sensors. So your sensors will simply go one on one side of the door, and the other one on the other side of the door, so that they will make a connection as such. And when they break, that's how you trigger the alarm. This is another lock and unlock remote as opposed to the RFID. The RFID, you got to come up and scan it. This remote will enable you, if you keep this on your keychain, to hit it as you go outside the door, so you don't have to be at the unit itself. This is an internal alarm for your home, so that you can, if somebody does break in, that will trigger this alarm, which will emit an audible sound so that they'll hear it and hopefully run out. Now, me personally, I prefer not to connect this because I will get the alert on my cell phone and be able to see what's going on in my house with the camera. And so long as I'm able to do that, I could take video and stills and give it to the police and dispatch the police to my house and let them know a burglary was going on. I'd rather catch them than scare them away, but that's my own preference. This is something that you can install if you prefer to scare them away. And this is the camera. So I am going to install just one camera down on the first floor, and this camera will allow me to remotely monitor what is going on live inside my home. I've gone ahead and put the camera behind my shoulder just to give you a little bit better view. Let's take a look at the main unit itself here. You can access the unit this way. Here's your power jack. If you're going to use the siren, that's where you would plug it in. And then you see this bit here about the SIM card. So if you have a SIM card with a mobile phone company, you can insert that SIM card here, and when the alarm sounds, it'll actually ring your phone or text your phone, depending on how you have it set up, so that you can get that notification. Now, I don't use that because you're going to have to have a contract with a cell phone company to take advantage of that for that SIM card. I just use the app itself to remotely notify me on my phone if an alarm goes off. So I don't use that, but that is a capability that you have. Let's plug this in and see what happens. Okay, so now I am all plugged in, and it's time to go through some of the setup. There is an internal battery here that is going to be charging that you will see. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to get this connected to my internet. Scan that QR code into my camera. There it is. Open it up. Now that takes us right to the KERUI W20 app, which I already have installed on my phone at this time. And when you open up that app, you'll get a list of any devices that you have online. Now, I've already paired this to my phone but it's very easy to do. You basically just hit the plus symbol, and then you tell it to add a device, and we're going to use the Smart Link option. And if you click on that, it actually gives you the name of your Wi-Fi, and it gives you a place to enter in the password. Thing to note here, your Wi-Fi must be 2G. If your Wi-Fi is 5G, or one of these new routers that will decide between 5G and 2G automatically, this won't pair. So make sure that you have a 2G router or a 2G output on your Wi-Fi signal. When you hit next, it just tells you basically what to do within the KERUI to pair these devices together. So you basically go into the menu system and you hit 7 to get into your Wi-Fi settings. And once you're there, you hit the number 1 and then you hit configure. And it'll start counting down and pairing that with the alarm system. So I'm now going through the pairing process. Now it does take a few seconds to pair, but it's gone through and it's paired the system, and it will show your online device. Now, sometimes when you first pair this device, instead of it saying LAN online, you'll actually see that it'll say bind device. If you just click it, it'll bind the device to your phone and the Wi-Fi, and then you'll get the online symbol that you have there. Once you have your device online in your app, I now have the capability to arm, disarm, do all kinds of things here from my phone on my app, and should an alarm come in, I'll get notified on my app of that alarm. But basically all the settings and everything that you have available on your alarm unit, you can get from here. Your password, the number of remotes you have in, the sensors you have in, the RFID to arm and disarms that you have set, the volume, all of your settings are available to you from this app. So it's very, very nice. Now let's go ahead and close all of that out. I'm going to actually set the panic and trigger my alarm system in panic mode.
9 zone system alarming.
So that you can hear it actually going off on my phone, I actually have a, let me disarm that.
System disarming.
So you could hear it going off on my phone, and then I got the notification that my remote was alarming, and then when I disabled it, I got the notification that the remote was disarming the system. So everything that happens in your house on that unit is going to get mirrored to you on your phone so that you'll be able to track when an alarm goes off. Okay then, so one of the first things I'm going to try is, as I said, it came with these remotes. I want to make sure that these remotes are already paired to the unit. The instruction book will tell you how to do that, but many times when you receive these systems, they're already paired. So here is my remote. Let's see what happens.
System arming.
So I'm able to arm.
System disarming.
So it does appear as if my remotes are already set up for me. Now there is an alarm panic button on this. Now this is nice.
9 zone system alarming. System disarming.
Now what that is for is if you need to notify somebody, if you're in trouble and you keep this in your pocket, it's like the old commercial, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. That'll actually sound the alarm, and then anybody's phone number that you have in here programmed to call, or anybody that has the app installed, will get that notification that the help emergency alarm is going off. So it's a way for you to contact somebody in case you have an emergency need. Now with the KERUI system, you will find that everything should already be set up for you. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to test this system. So I'm going to arm the system.
System arming.
And when the system is armed, I should be able now to separate this and set off the alarm.
4 zone.
So you could tell.
Alarming. System disarming.
So this was already pre-programmed and added to my control display as my zone 4, and that is what this triggered when it went off. Now, before I continue with the install, I know my door sensors are already added into the system. I just want to do a quick check just to make sure that that is entered into the system. In fact, you can see when that triggers. All right, so it is definitely that is on. So let's enable the system.
System arming.
And then let's trigger that sensor and see if that does in fact take care of it.
0, 6, zone. System alarming. System disarming.
Obviously, that's already added into the system as well, and it's added as alarm number 6. So everything that came with this is already programmed, so the setup couldn't be any more easier. You could just put this on the wall, install these on the wall where you want them to go. Very easy to do, very easy to install, and you have an alarm system up and running. Okay, now the one thing we haven't talked about yet is the camera. So let's open up this box. Now this is an add-on to this system. It's one that we really like. How we use this system is we set the camera up, and then when an alarm goes off, we get the notification on our phone, and you pair this camera to your phone just like we did the alarm unit. So what we have here is we've got a power cord, we have the camera system itself, and then we have a mount so that you can mount the camera to the wall and control the positioning wherever you'd like to have that camera installed.
Please configure Wi-Fi with AP connection.
Now it's telling me I need to configure the device, so I'm going to do that on the phone. Now the app you use for the camera that I purchased is called UC. And the only thing I really want to draw your attention to here is that I did run into a little hiccup installing this app. I scanned the Q code, which launched the app for me, and I started to go through the setup process. And it's supposed to text you a password so that you can get through the setup process and pair the app to the camera. That didn't work for me, so I had to actually do an email verification, which was another option there. It was available, they emailed me the password, and I got through the setup no problem after that. I don't want to go through all those details because it's very similar to how we set up the alarm system, but I did want to draw your attention to that one point. So now the camera is installed in my home. That is the view from the camera that you are seeing there. I'm going to go ahead and go to a live view. The only thing I want to note is that when I do that, it will lose my voiceover because it will capture my microphone in case I want to talk to somebody through the camera. Here we go. Okay, so hopefully you saw there that I was able to zoom, I could scroll left, I could scroll right, and this camera can actually be used in a couple different ways. Again, you can have a conversation with somebody on the other side of the camera, and it can actually be used as a standalone device. So if you're not interested in an alarm system, but maybe you're just interested in a motion sensor that triggers an alarm, the camera does have a built-in motion sensor, so if somebody were to come into your home, you would get the camera notification, and then you'd be able to view the camera, but it won't actually sound an alarm or do anything like that. Monitor your doors or your windows or anything like that. But that is an option that you have with this camera. Now I want to go through and test the alarm system and walk you through that. I just placed the camera on top of this counter here. I didn't bother to mount it on the wall. One of the motion sensors above the kitchen cabinets, very easy to install. I just use double-sided sticky tape for a quick installation, no tools required. And I placed these sensors on all my doors, and this is my sliding glass. Now the one thing I do want to draw your attention to here is notice how that is upside down. These are side sensitive. One side has the sensor. So on this particular door, I had to flip that over in order for it to sense when it was open. So take a note of that and test everything when you install it. Make sure when you break the connection, the red light does indeed come on. Here's where I've set my alarm panel. And I can arm my alarm from either this panel or from my phone if I've already left the house. I'm going to go ahead and arm my alarm. I have it set up so I have 20 seconds to leave the property before it is armed. I'm going to arm it, go out the front door, wait the 20 seconds, open the front door, which will trigger my front door alarm. And I have that set up so that it'll trigger my alarm in 10 seconds. Now notice I'm getting a countdown. That's the timer to get out of the house before it's armed. Okay, and now I am out of my house, and what you can see here is the notification that my panel has armed. Now I'm actually going to breach the door, and it's going to take 10 seconds to get the alarm. And if I look, it says front door alarming, telling me which door was actually triggered. Now, how I would use this is I would then go in and I can look at my camera and see what's going on in my living room. I'll lose voice here for just a second. On my live shot, I did not see any issues. I'm going to go in and deactivate my alarm. The alarm has been deactivated. And that's how it works. So there you have it. Everything's set up for a home alarm system for less than $200. Now I did run into a couple snags. Make sure your wireless internet connection is a 2G system, not 5G. I also had a difficult time getting the passcode to get the camera app set up, but I was able to bypass that by putting in my email address. Start to finish, install and everything, about an hour. And that's because everything that you order out of the box from one of the links below will already be pre-programmed to your alarm. Basically, you set it and forget it. The way this gets used is if I ever get an alarm that says, hey, something's going on, I bring up the camera app and I can look at it and see exactly what's happening. I can set the alarm up so I know if it came in through my front door, my back door, a window, the garage. Wherever I have my sensors, I can label those so I know exactly what's happened. All the devices that I hooked up for sensors, I just used double-sided sticky tape. Worked great. Where else can you get an alarm system this cheap? If you like this video, please click the like button below. You can turn on alarm notifications if you want to hear when we have new videos. I'm Robert with Acme Locksmith, and you're watching Locksmith Recommended.